Here's a Briggs and Stratton engine that I got today at the Stanton Trade days. It's hooked up with a pump. I don't know that I would really have much use for the pump, but I got it because this engine is the same type that's on my air compressor that had seized up for some reason. Now I got this one to run by putting in the magnetron magneto from the air compressor, and we'll give a demonstration of it and how the magneto hooks up in a little bit. Here's the original magneto from the gold colored Briggs and Stratton, and I think that this type used points. I cut a wire here that would have gone down behind the flywheel, and I assume that there must be some points down in there, although I'm not sure where they are. I know there's some people more experienced in Briggs and Stratton that might be able to tell me. But this engine wouldn't run. It turned over okay, but it wouldn't run, and the owner said that it probably needed new points and condenser. And so here's the old magneto. Now I took the magnetron magneto off of this one, and the timing of the magnetron magneto is somehow done inside of it, so that it apparently doesn't need external points. That's where the magnetron goes on. Now I've got the head off of this one. I actually was able to get this one to turn over by putting PB Blaster in the cylinder. And here's the top of the head. There's a whole lot of carbon in there. So I'm going to try and clean this out and see if I can get this engine to run. And then I may see eventually if I can figure out how to get the points fixed on this one. But substituting in the magnetron did get it to run. So on this one, I got the head off, got the head gasket off. I'm going to try and clean off some of this carbon and with some gum out. And then I'm going to change the oil on this before trying to start it back up. It did have oil in it. It didn't seize due to a lack of oil, because it always ran fine. But then one time when I went to start it, it was seized. I noticed some scoring inside of the cylinder right here, so I'm not sure if it could have somehow got low on oil and I just didn't notice it, but when I just checked it now, it seemed like there was a fairly good amount in there. So first demonstrate this engine running, and then I'll take the magnetron off of it, clean up the head and reassemble the head on this one, and see if I can get this original engine to run. So there's that engine that's running good. If I can't get this one to run, I can always take this one out of the pump unit and put it on here, but I should be able to get this one to work. Next thing I'll do is show how the magnetron fits inside of the Briggs and Stratton. I'll now take the front cover off of this Briggs and Stratton to show the magnetron. I actually twisted off one of these bolts here. So I think there may have been some corrosion on the bolt. There's 3 bolts to take the front cover off. One is here, another one is down there, and I left that one off, and then the third one is over here. So take that bolt off now. Here's the magnetron right here, and here's the governor. And this just connects to the throttle rod here to work the throttle in response to engine load. The magnetron doesn't have any external electrical connections, but the old magneto had a wire that ran back down behind the flywheel. So I guess what I might do is to just get a replacement magnetron and retrofit this one eventually to magnetron operation. I'm going to take the magnetron off of this one, put it back on the air compressor engine. I've got the head reassembled, and I poured a little bit of oil in the cylinder just to give it some extra lubrication. Now here's the completed air compressor. I decided to use the entire fuel system off of the new Briggs and Stratton engine on this one. I just unbolted the intake manifold in the bottom of the fuel tank and just put that whole system on there, because I knew that the one in this engine was running pretty good, and the fuel system that originally was on this engine was kind of having some problems somewhere in the carburetor. So since this system was good, might as well just go ahead and swap it on there. And I put the bronze colored front piece on this one because I thought it looked good with the bronze fuel system. But the engine block of this is the original one from the compressor, and it starts up real good and easy. Let me demonstrate it for you here. See if I can zoom out a little bit. Well, it was starting up. So when you go to use the camera, see if I can get it to go here. Okay, I'll have to mess with it a little bit, but I will get it started. It was starting on the one pool before. I'm going to spray a little ether in there. I think it may still need a little carburetor cleaning, but with the ether it seems to start up pretty good. Even fully loaded, the engine is able to keep up, and there's none of the surging that there was before with the old fuel system. I'm going to tighten up the head bolts again. Looks like there may be a little bit of oil leakage around the head, so we'll just give the bolts another round of tightening. But I think the new engine's really, it's actually not a new engine, but the repaired engine is going to do good on the air compressor. Been using the bus as the portable air compressor, and will certainly still use it in that role occasionally, but it's also nice to have the small compressor back running as well.